The sun had begun to sink behind the far-off mesas, staining the sky a bruised red that mirrored the land's quiet anger. Dust rose from the path leading to the old Whitaker Ranch, once a proud spread of cattle and wheat, now a broken piece of land swallowed by drought and memory. Caleb Whitaker, the last of his line, stood by the fence, his weathered hands resting on the wood like it was all that tethered him to the earth. He was a man built out of silence, his jaw carved by years of wind, his eyes half shadows, half storm. When the creaking of the gate broke the stillness, he turned. There she was, Elena, dust-covered, trembling, her hair tangled from the desert wind. He hadn't seen her in 3 years, not since the night she vanished without a word. But here she stood, barefoot, her voice shaking like glass. "Caleb, I can't hold it in anymore." He didn't move, didn't speak. The air between them felt alive, charged with the ghosts of what they'd been. She stumbled closer, clutching something to her chest. "You have to listen. What happened that night? It wasn't what you think." Her eyes darted toward the barn, the one that had been locked since the fire, the same fire that had taken his father's life. Caleb's silence wasn't cruelty. It was armor. He'd built walls so high not even truth could climb them. But seeing her like that, desperate, broken, pleading, made something in him shift. He stepped forward, voice low and hoarse. "You shouldn't have come back here." She looked at him like he'd just stabbed her with words alone. "You think I wanted to? You think this place doesn't haunt me too?" Her breath came fast. "But I found something, Caleb, in the sheriff's records. About your father. About us." The wind picked up, flinging dirt into their eyes, but neither flinched. She held out a crumpled piece of paper, edges burnt. "He knew about the land deal, the one that ruined everything. He wasn't killed in the fire, Caleb. He was murdered." For a moment, the world went quiet, like the desert itself was holding its breath. Caleb's throat tightened. He took the paper, scanning the faded ink. His father's signature, another man's name beside it, and the date, the night of the fire. Elena's voice cracked. "I tried to hide it, but I can't hold it anymore. The truth is out." Caleb looked up at her, his eyes wide with something between grief and rage. "You're saying my father—" "I'm saying we were lied to," she interrupted. "By the same man who owns half this town now, Sheriff Dalton." The name fell heavy between them. Caleb turned toward the barn. The door rattled softly in the wind, like it was whispering secrets. He took one step, then another. Elena followed, her heart pounding. Inside, the air smelled of smoke and old hay. A single lantern flickered on the wall. Caleb reached for the latch of a wooden chest that hadn't been opened in years. His fingers trembled. "You shouldn't have come back, Elena," he murmured. "You don't know what this place remembers." Her voice barely rose above a whisper. "Then show me." The lid creaked open. Inside lay an old revolver, rusted and wrapped in cloth, and beside it, a sheriff's badge scorched black. Caleb's jaw clenched. The world tilted as if time itself had paused. Elena gasped, tears streaking down her dusty face. "Caleb, what did you do?" He looked at her, eyes hollow, voice breaking like thunder over dry earth. "What I had to." The barn door slammed shut behind them as the wind howled through the cracks. Night fell over the Whitaker Ranch like a curtain drawn on an old tragedy. The lantern still burned in the barn, its light trembling over 2 broken souls trapped between guilt and revelation. Caleb sat against a beam, the revolver lying beside him like an unspoken sin. Elena stood across from him, shivering, not from cold, but from what she now knew. "I can't believe it," she whispered. "All these years and you never told anyone?" Caleb's voice was low, gravelly. "What good would it have done? The sheriff owned this town. He owned the law, and me, I owned nothing but silence." Elena stepped closer, voice trembling. "Silence doesn't bury the truth, Caleb. It only lets it rot." He looked up, his eyes dark. "You think I don't know that?" He slammed his fist against the floor, dust rising. "I watched him ride away from this ranch that night, while the barn burned and my father screamed inside. But no one believed me. Not the court, not the townsfolk. They said I was drunk, grief-crazed." Elena knelt beside him, her hand brushing the revolver's handle. "Then we make them believe it now." Caleb laughed bitterly. "Now? The sheriff's a judge. His men run the county. You bring this to him, and you'll end up in the same fire my father did." She didn't flinch. Then we light a different fire. Her courage, raw and defiant, stirred something in him he thought had died. But courage can be dangerous in the wrong hands. As he studied her, A storm raged behind his eyes. You don't understand what you're asking me to do. I'm asking you to do what's right. For a long moment, only the wind answered. Then Caleb stood, his shadow stretching across the barn floor. He picked up the revolver, spun the chamber, and slipped it into his belt. If truth's what you want, Elena, he said quietly, then truth's what you'll get. The ride into town was silent. The stars above seemed to flicker with dread. When they reached the sheriff's office, the old building looked almost peaceful, its white paint glowing under the moon. But peace, they both knew, was a lie. Caleb pushed the door open. The sheriff, older now, heavy with power, looked up from his desk, smiling faintly. Well, I'll be. Caleb Whitaker. Thought you died with your pride. Caleb's hand hovered near his belt, but Elena placed hers over it. Her eyes said, don't become him. The sheriff leaned back, grin widening. You two look like you've seen ghosts. Caleb's voice came out steady. Maybe we have yours. The sheriff's smile faltered. What's that supposed to mean? Elena stepped forward, placing the burnt document on his desk. It means your past finally caught up. The sheriff's eyes narrowed as he reached for it, and that's when he saw the badge. Caleb carried, the burnt one, his own badge. The color drained from his face. You kept it? He whispered. Caleb nodded slowly. The fire didn't take everything. Silence stretched, long, unbearable. Then something in the sheriff's eyes turned cold. His hand slid beneath the desk. Caleb saw the motion, drew the revolver, and fired. The echo tore through the night. When the smoke cleared, the sheriff's gun lay on the floor. But he was alive, just grazed. Elena's scream broke the spell. Caleb, what have you done? He looked at her, tears cutting through the dirt on his face. Ended it. She stepped closer, trembling. No, Caleb, you just started it. As the sirens wailed in the distance, he looked at the horizon, dawn beginning to rise over the desert. Maybe that's what we needed, he whispered. A new beginning. The story didn't end in fire this time. It ended in light.